One beloved station, Radio Cayman.
The voice,
the heart, the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Oh, I think they're doing a great job. A lot of them are.
Good afternoon, Dwayne. How are you?
Not too bad, sir.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Radio Cayman's Talk Today with Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
But I do have some questions.
There are more questions than answers.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today. If you're ready to talk, we're willing to listen.
Well, I really enjoy this program today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
May God bless every person.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome. What another magnificent, marvelous, actually magical Monday. 8949-837, 1-800-534-8255. Want to call and share your thoughts with us, so stay tuned for Talk Today.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway, open 24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history, explore your land, explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza, your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village, convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays.
Radio Cayman's Talk Today, the Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program. We ask our listeners to avoid statements or comments which are abusive, derogatory, malicious, or defamatory. Do not use any indecent language or make any statement which is false or misleading. Email talktoday@candw.ky or call 1-800-534-8255.
Courtesy of Flow,
Cayman's #1 network that connects you to your world like never before.
Let your voice be heard. Once again, here's your host, Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And thanks for joining us. It's going to be some open line, it looks like, and we want you to share your thoughts with us. 8949-8037 or 949-6990. Let us know what you have on your mind. What do you want to share with us? Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261 or use the toll-free line with the kind compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255. Well, a lot is obviously going on in our lives, in our communities, and certainly in the region. And much of it is being impacted by what is happening globally. So as many of you have in recent times, I've been wondering about the uncertainty. Someone said, in the lyrics of the Third World song, we're living in a world of uncertainty, We've got to make the most of the time. Are we? And for some, that means that we're going to live, each day as it's our last. Not to contribute as much as we can, not to be as helpful as we can, but for some reason, enjoying it to the fullest at the expense sometimes of our own, wherewithal, our own love, our own health. We just live it now because some have literally taken. No man is promised tomorrow. I still have to share. I was listening to an extended presentation, and I was part of the invitation. And it wasn't so much a gathering of minds or one of those dissertations after a paper has been prepared by the think tanks, commenting on anything, esoteric, as it were. This was just something recounting historical events, putting it in perspective where it said, this happened this time, this happened this time. Not to say there was connection or correlation or coincidence, but just historically setting out what transpired throughout the centuries. And if you were to take it even, in decades or in bite-sized chunks of 5 years or 50 years, you see that history repeats itself. History is replete with many examples of where the actions of men, as opposed to women, men in their folly lead to great turmoil, not just wars, but sometimes the pettiness of and the egos of some. Now, with that in mind, some of you, as I listened to the presentation earlier, expressed views that were very much part of this, as they presented, an academic exercise, not to comment with anything that would be inflammatory, but certainly try to incite people to thought, and not in a sense that would be uncivil or unruly. As one of the ladies shared, we look at human history and we see many examples of where perhaps the gentleness, the kindness, the tenderness, the sense of respect that women have sort of put forward. And she shares that it would seem that increasingly so, that temperance, that wisdom, the Proverbs 31 woman, for instance, is being lost. She, in her contribution, although perhaps gauged by time, didn't measure as much as some of the longer, perhaps more involved discussions by others, but measured by content, certainly set the tone and far surpassed, as I think there was the consensus, anything that was said by any other individual and even collectively. But she shared that the women of yesteryear, whether they were the political leaders or whether they're the ones that were championing efforts in their communities, or even if we were just to look at the history of Cayman. Now she said that this is not her country of birth. She came here very young, did a lot of her sort of secondary and tertiary education in other jurisdictions, but this has been home and always felt like it was. Now, as I listen to her, she obviously appreciates that it is time for people to stand up and be counted. It was an interesting discussion. Now, I come away thinking on it and wondering to what extent we see what is before us and wondering to what extent we are encouraged and courageous enough to ask questions and to see something that needs to be acknowledged and addressed and step forward to assist. Or when we appreciate that something isn't necessarily going in the right direction, are we able to weigh in and put our foot on the scale to see if we can tip it to the right direction? Sometimes that's just with who we are, the position that we occupy at the time. Perhaps it is a financial resource. Perhaps it's just because we feel it's the right thing to do, and it may cost something of us, our money, our time, and potentially the fact that we will be aligned with something, or as she says, sometimes even maligned by speaking or showing a particular preference for something, or interest in something, or disdain and contempt for something. And then she asked, as she has, like many of us, recently been up to travel, well, what are we seeing in those jurisdictions? She shared quickly that it's very different now compared to a few years ago when she travels for business. And there is a noticeable, distancing of people. Even when we may see in the media that people are congregating again at, sporting events or socializing, but there is still a reservation amongst people. The level of social angst that some may feel is very evident here. But she also wonders to what extent, despite the warnings of the psychiatrists and the psychologists and all of the others who may see it on a daily basis in our schools and the interactions with our very young, what impact will all of this have on our young people in 20, 30, 40 years from now? Well, she has asked, they see people without a mask, and for the first 2 or 3 years of their formative sort of years, that was their norm. And now, if they're not seeing people with a mask, will it be much like what it was before, where if you saw someone with a mask, if you watched the old black and whites way back when, it was the gun-toting, bank robber who rides up on a horse and goes in and robs the place. Or we may see it in more modern film and the like, that mask was indicative of something sinister. And now for the young child, maybe the mask is a sign of protection, and without it, well, what would that convey to the person? That was just something she said that has caused a few people to have sort of those side discussions where they think about, we don't know what that would be like, but could it be a negative consequence? Now, in all that was shared, including by her, it was obvious that the respect for people's health, their physical, their spiritual, their financial, their mental health was of paramount importance, and the ability for people to appreciate that more than ever they need to not only look after themselves, but they need to draw alongside each other. And very pensive frame of mind she's left with some of us. But what is your thought? There may be happier things to look at. There may be very, very pressing, concerning things that you believe need to be considered. Give us an example. Just on the wheel back as I was walking, someone said, "Let me take 2 steps with you," and ask, to what extent are we concerned about the cost of living? The idea that not just here, but seem everywhere, things are becoming, 1, more expensive, 2, less and less available. What does that mean, for us? Where are we looking at in the direction that we're heading? Well, let's take the first break. Invite you to call and share your thoughts. And as our scheduled guests, things materialize, so that has to be rescheduled for another time. We're going to have some open line until 2 p.m. We invite you to call and share your thoughts with us. 949-8037, 949-8037. Toll free with the kind compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
We think it's time you crossed over to a new vehicle. And with the Toyota Corolla Cross now at Vant Motors, you have plenty of reasons to make the switch. The crossover body and hybrid engine is a sleek design in a sturdy structure with a spacious interior that opens to extensive cargo space. Stuck in traffic? The high-performance self-charging hybrid system automatically switches between gas and electric vehicle mode, helping you lower both fuel costs and carbon emissions. The Corolla Cross has full LED lighting inside and out, an integrated display audio system with energy monitor, and a dual-zone climate control system to ensure comfort for all. Test drive the new Toyota Corolla Cross Hybrid today at Vant Motors, Walkers Road.
I've got some beautiful clothes. I know just where they go. Puritan Cleaners.
Puritan Cleaners, now using the most popular and eco-friendly cleaning solvents. 2 convenient locations to serve you: Savannah Countryside and Eastern Avenue, Georgetown. drive-through, rain or shine, free pickup and delivery services available. Call Puritan Cleaners 949-7104. Also ask about our in-house discounts. Puritan Cleaners, you feel good when you look good. Cayman Islands Center for Business Development is taking applications for the new Grow Your Business program. The program involves 12 free weekly 3-hour training sessions, as well as 1 year of free business coaching, and aims at identifying, training, and coaching micro and small business entrepreneurs on how to effectively navigate the growth stage of business. Interested businesses should submit completed applications by email to cicbd@gov.ky or in person at Suite 101 Baytown Plaza, 68 West Bay Road. For more information, call 244-8009 or email cicbd@gov.ky. The application deadline for the Grow Your Business program is June 1st.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. It's 949-8037, 949-6990. Or you can use the Flow toll-free line at 1-800-534-8255 and share your thoughts with us. And there are, without question, a lot of things on the minds of many, some of which probably there is a level of reticence to share, beyond their own circles for many reasons. And I say that a quick message that came in during the break. Someone is saying, in reference to what I was asking about, food supplies and the cost of living and the like. And paraphrasing, the person said, they've been traveling recently for 2 reasons. One, it's the first time in many years that they, decided, okay, here's an opportunity to go. And, for some, it's been a year or so that they could have traveled. Well, for him, it's the opportunity to go now. Why not, take a trip? It's been a few years. But seeing the very, very similar situations and the places that he has traveled recently, in terms of the challenges, many people are facing, the same level of angst, as I use it, is evident there as it is here. Perhaps in some places a little bit more because of the circumstances, and some a little less. But he said it isn't that people are unconcerned or not sympathetic, is that people probably genuinely are unsure. There's a level of uncertainty, again, my word. And as he messaged, he said, for instance, that we were always in this notion that we live in Cayman, it's a small place, and what happens here is unlike anything that happens elsewhere. We're in a bubble, was the word that was used much in the last couple of years, and it was probably how we felt up until that time. Well, he says it's not the case. We all seemingly faced with the same things. Let's take this call. Hey, good afternoon, welcome, thanks for calling.
Hello, good afternoon.
Hey, how are you today, man? Hope all is well.
Oh, Sterling, I'm well, thank the Lord. For the most part, I'm good. How you doing?
I am indeed, man. Presence of mind, healthy spirit, healthy body, healthy mind. So thank God.
Thank God indeed, bro. I'm maneuvering using my hands-free system in the car while I was stuck. I don't know. There seems to be a build-up of traffic in the Shedden Road, Eastern Avenue, Elgin Avenue area around 12 each day. I don't know why that is. I don't know if it's because we've done such a good job at bringing the cars in all at once, with the 2 lanes. Now we're all clicking good that it seems to backlog in the middle of town. But that's not why I'm calling. Mm-hmm. Thankfully, I'm off the road now and I can speak to you.
Okay.
Can you give me a second? I'm just pulling in. I want to talk to you, not on this system.
Right. Well, you go right ahead, man. I appreciate you being safe, and certainly, as the caller shared, you want to make sure the connection is there. I know that technology allows us to do do many things. The idea that we can put our device somewhere in a corner, whether it's in the house or in the gym when we're exercising, and hear the music to ourselves without it being necessarily disruptive to others. So I very much appreciate the caller's intent. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man. Thank you, man. Thank you. Thank you for taking my call, too.
Thank you for placing it.
I was just wrestling with trying to determine a few things in terms of sharing with you, and I think your thoughts kind of triggered that. And I thought, you know what, I'm going to share my thoughts. A couple of things that really bother me, Sterling, are those people that think that either the pandemic is over, and they're creating a bit of frustration for people who are involved with keeping stores and that sort of thing. I'm aware of 2 incidents just this weekend and in one instance, the police was called by the store owner because we have, these are not, I'm trying to be very careful in saying it because I don't want to make it a Caymanian, non-Caymanian thing, but they were non-Caymanians, and particularly from our region, who seems to go into the stores and seem to be wanting to push local store owners who want to try to keep their staff safe and that sort of thing. And they're going into stores and saying, oh, the pandemic's over, they don't want to wear the mask, they don't want to whatever. I know we have that in our local populace, but our local people tend to, at the very end of the day, at least that's been my experience, is that they comply. Whereas this other group of people seem to have this notion that they can just push the limits on everything. And I say everything because I'm also throwing in why I really called, and that is, there is a culture that the same group of people from our region, and I can be very specific in doing if that's okay, but I just don't want it to be about that, but it is the reality. I tend to find that it's our Jamaicans, and I'm talking about the driving culture that is very aggravating, very frustrating, very angering, really. It's the notion of not feeling that you need to wait. Now, let me just preface what I'm going to finish by saying this. There are many who are from the Jamaican community who I know this does not apply to, who this is not about them. They obey the traffic laws, they do those things. But this culture of pushing your way out of a particular driveway or something and forcing your way out, it causes you then, who don't want to, of course, mash your car up, not to run into them. You're clapping brakes to stop for them. And I actually experienced it personally. So it's not just people who share it, but I think of me coming out of a blind spot, and I was at the head of the line. Now, of course, we're taught to wait until somebody gives you a break, or you wait until there's sufficient time for you to pull out without causing an accident. And that was taking a rather long time, even for me, who was the one who was at the front of the line. I hear this car blowing behind me. And when I know he proceeds, Sterling, to go to the right of me in the incoming traffic lane, pulls out to the top of the road, cuts the eye at me, and forces his way out and causes the two lines of traffic to stop. And I think to myself, wow. And I mean, just no care whatsoever, just absolutely none. And so as a result, I see this over and over and over again. It's like a cultural thing. And so I asked a friend of mine who's from there, and I said, why do you all do that? And he said, well, back home, that's what we do. We force our way onto the road. There's no courtesy of stopping or waiting. You make your way out. Well, I said, you guys need to put that in check, man, because that's not cultural for us. We normally wait until somebody give us a break, but you don't force your way like you're going out into the road. And I think it's purposeful. It's kind of like, let's see if you're going to hit me, and chances are none of us want hit unless you had maybe a dump truck or something, and I don't want to advocate that, but that's the only reason why you would feel, well, you kind of caused this. it is horrible, man, and it really is frustrating. And once you become aware of it, you actually see it. Now, that can play in and of itself, Sterling, but you see it's there, and I've mentioned it to other people, and they've noticed it. And the only reason I brought up about the store thing, because unfortunately a young lady, like I said, I'm aware of 2 incidents, one of which this weekend there was a police that was called in one of our corner stores in the West, because somebody who was a patron actually was witness to it. The store owner was trying to get them to put on their mask, and they said they won't. And one of the patrons called the police, and she reported it to the police, and the police came right away. Told him he need to get out the store. But, I mean, there's this notion of pushing the rules. And, we already are frustrated, not just in this country, but the world over. We're frustrated. As you said, there's a, sense of uncertainty on so many things. There's stressors all around. We don't need people who are anti-compliant, people who are just pushing the limits, people who are just... And from a cultural standpoint, that's very difficult for me, man. It's frustrating for me, man.
Well, how do we address that? I mean, it's...
Well, one of the first ways to address it is by doing what we're doing right now, is raising awareness. And I would only ask, because I suspect there'll be many from JAM who are listening. And like you said, it tend to be the men, not so much the women. And some of the women who are from there can say to their, fellow countrymen, listen, man, I need to leave that stuff back home, because at least in our town, that's how we can deal with it in our country, is by at least first of all talking about it, because it can get very divisive, and it can feed a lot of mindsets in regards to a lot of things. There's so many things that's going on doing that I wish I'd talk about, but those things are just frustrating things that we can stop, we can address, if people are aware of it. Because the only other way around that is if people start running into people on the sides and that sort of thing, that's not good for anybody. And the other one is people start fighting when you don't comply with their store, policies. That's not good either. So,
I think it's good to raise, and as you shared, we can address it. But to your point, in the store, if the regulations are such that the mask wearing, whether you like it or not, whether you agree with it or not, if that's what it is, that's what it is. In this instance, when police attend the scene, what is your understanding? Is that an arrestable offense? Is that a ticketable offense?
Well, I think it is. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think it is. I think it is an offense. It's not just a policy. So the stores are oftentimes complying with regulations in regards to indoor wearing. And so as far as I know, it's an arrestable offense.
So when the police arrive, if they're not enforcing it, then, I mean...
I agree. So maybe that's the awareness there, too, to bring it to the attention of those that, they can't be frustrating our shopkeepers. And before Almighty God, bro, and I wasn't going to speak on that, but just 45 minutes before this, I happened to be in a little store, and a young lady said, I just happened to ask her, because they have a very strict sanitize and the whole thing policy. And I just happened to say to her, I says, have your stuff been pretty safe in the midst of doing it? She said, you better believe it. And she says, what? I said, I'm so glad that you continue to do this. So she said, listen to me, man, this is the most frustrating thing. And then she proceeded to be the second set of people who told me about their experience about this particular group of people. And so she said, I had an argument with one of them to say, I have 6 children, and I have no intentions of having any of them staying home from school and the whole line just because you feel like you don't need to obey by protocol or by regulations. The simple fact is you need shop somewhere else if you keep coming inside of here like this. Darling, I need to go though, but
yeah, man.
We'll talk later.
Thank you. Well, have a good afternoon, and the break is here. We'll take that, and we'll go back to the phones. Stay tuned.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
From boat days to beach gatherings, Leave the catering to Subway. Choose from small and large sandwich platters, double meat wrap platters, and top it off with optional cookie platters for dessert. Or ask about our Subway box to go with the option of 6-inch or foot-long sandwich, 1 cookie, and 1 bag of chips for all occasions and celebrations. Let Subway focus on the food so you can focus on the fun. Visit subway.ky for catering options. Subway. Eat fresh.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
If you care about your car's performance and fuel economy, you must fill up at Jose's Escape with the new Pier 93. Experts know that the higher the octane rating, the better your engine will perform. Pier 93 is the highest octane fuel available in Cayman. Protect your car against pre-ignition and engine knocks. Top up your tank now with Pier 93 at Jose's Rubis and enter to win an awesome track bike. But there's more. Jose's offers 2 lateral flow test kits for only $10. The best KN95 masks, 2 for $5. And 10 stylish black surgical masks are only $5. Share the love. Purchase Reflections gift certificates and enter to win the amazing Trek bike.
Workforce Opportunities and Residency Cayman are reminding customers that applications must be completed in full or they will not be accepted. In efforts to improve customer service and processing time, only fully completed applications will be accepted. Customers are responsible for providing the required information for the application to be processed and are encouraged to review the application checklist before submission. For guidance, visit www.worc.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. It is open line 949-8037 or toll free at 1-800-534-8255. Let's go to our phones. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Good afternoon, Sterling.
How are you today?
Sterling, you don't want to know. I want to hit on that last caller, but I got smoke coming out of my ears, my nose, my mouth, my eyes. And I'm going to say that to the other part of the conversation. But I just caught a piece of that last guy I had a conversation there a while ago in regards to the mask. Sterling, I seen people coming into the grocery stores now with no mask. I see them going into the hardware stores with any mask on. And Sterling, I'm going to put it like how I see it. They're not even us. Put it that way. I'm sorry. I'm not disrespecting anyone. But when they say wear a mask, you should wear a mask. They say, oh, masks don't help. Well, if masks don't help, stay home. Stay home. I don't know if we'll ever come out of the mask. I guess it's going to be left up to us in years to come. If you want to wear it, you wear it. If you get sick, you get sick. But Sterling, that is what do came on. Now, nobody wants to abide by our rules and regulations. Everybody wants to do their own thing. And they just get in the way left, right, and center. We makes everybody too comfortable in the style, including my own nationality. We got to take things serious sometimes and say, you know what? I got to protect those up there. You know, I got to protect the children up there. If I get it with my mask on, but I still got to try to protect some. Why they want to just open up and don't give a rat's who dies and who don't die? We're going to die eventually, one day sooner or later. But don't let it be COVID for God's sake because you're negligent of not following rules and regulations. But anyhow, Sterling, that's why I called you for, and I had no plans on calling you today.
Well,
I told you, I got smoke coming out of my nose, my ears, my mouth.
It can be, yeah, I understand, man. It can be, as the caller said, frustrating and infuriating, and it's maybe what they say, the test of the metal is how we, respond to things. So it's a challenge. But what do we do? What do we do?
What do we do?
Mm-hmm.
Start penalizing people. That's what we got to do. That's like the people on the road speeding and getting away with it and causing all these accidents and running from accidents and not going to insurance, not going to license, and begging for to give them a second chance when they almost killed somebody and all that kind of crap out here, and some of them is getting away with things that we don't even know.
But you just
cameras on the road. They're not doing anything for us. We got speed limit on the road with cameras. They're not doing nothing for us. So now they got put some cameras down by Cayman Bay, whatever. Just let me tell you something. The people need to get up and do the walk and stop the talk.
Mm-hmm.
From the police department down to every other department that needs to keep this island running better than it's being run.
It's interesting. I mean, you reference enforcing, and maybe that is the challenge, and maybe it's there's so much to enforce that without the resources, maybe we're selectively enforcing some things. Mm-hmm.
Erlen, Cayman got more resources. They can pull up on a daily basis because the government is going renting out these different buildings to put their businesses in, and they got this big old glass house that they built, and that can't hold on a government business. They got an old glass house sitting there, a shore into the whole island for years, and nothing is being done about it. I mean, Sterling, how can we continue to run this island with tourism and banking and construction? It's all going to come to a halt one day sooner or later, Sterling.
Mm-hmm.
You see how the food is being limited coming to the island? We not see anything yet. And we refuse to open our eyes. And this thing that, we're going to have election every 4 years, and every time we change somebody, we're going to do this, we're going to get better. You can't do nothing in 4 years, and you can't do nothing in 20 years. Hey, we might as well have election. Because everybody still do what we want to do. But you know what our biggest problem is, Sterling? We do not want to stop the population. We are on a population grabbing situation right now for finance to a degree. And as we continue grabbing this finance and for our bed of pillow of finance to live on this island and to maintain this island, let me tell you something. It all gonna come to a halt sooner or later, and you got to suffer. Just you look here, man, that left because they all got to pick up and go back to the country regardless if they got to the graveyard. No disrespect to the graveyard, but they go to take the what call them things, the walls and stuff out there and make homes out of them and live in them. I hope Cayman never come to that. We can't even plant anything in our yards and reap it properly. We can't even go to the sea water and fishing for additional fish or a lobster because it's restricted. Many years ago, was it? Because our population made all that happen to us. Our population. Sterling, before you cut me off, that is a hot topic, and I am ready fuming. Sterling, I just went to turn on my water, and I'm like, no water. Oh my God, what happened now? I'm not paid the bill. So I jump in my car and drive the neighborhood, and I can't see what's going down. And what the main problem was now up at the top of the road. I never thought about going to the top of the road. I'm driving all up in my neighborhood looking for water turtle truck or bulldozer, whatever they have what they're working on. When I got to the top of the road, they got a water line busted. Now there's no water. Sterling, you know what I'm talking about this afternoon? The principle of these things happening, and everybody has a cell phone. You get no alert from this water company that this island is depending on a daily basis. When they come and take away our cisterns and our wells from us, this is what we're going to put up with. This is unreal. Unreal. And if your water bill, if you got a leak in your water and it goes to 2, 3, 4, 5,000, you got to pay that. And if you don't pay, you get no water. Now I see why so many homes are putting these plastic containers on their rooftop and buying water and filling them up. I asked my God, don't ever let them drop through on the people that live in those apartments or the private homes that is collecting water in these containers, because Sterling, this water authority needs to do better. Why are their lines broken so regular? They're doing something wrong and nothing seems to be doing nothing. No one seems to be trying to correct it to see why the water breakage lines so regular here and there. Sterling, I have changed up my faucets in my house for the last 20 odd years because of the corrosion of the water. The water is full of iron. And don't talk about, you talk about your cheap faucet. They're going to Kohler now, or whatever the one person that makes these faucets. I got them, and they're getting corroded from the sea to the water. Now I have no water to take a shower to go to work this afternoon with. I got to go and take my Aquafina water that I buy to drink to form a shower, because the water authority can't even notify the people in the area and say, this happened, that happened. You all need to do the best that you can. I could have gone down to my son's apartment in town and dressed down there and see what time it is now. You don't just do notification, but yet you want to cut your bill off and you're going to pay it. We need competition. We got their water company. I don't know what problem they have down there, but I know this one water authority, they're always having a problem. I think they bite down more than they can eat. They need a competition. They need a competition between Georgetown and Eastern. Well, I am so serious right now. I hope I didn't scream in the air too loud.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I am smoking right now. I'm smoking 10 cigars one time and I can't smell the smoke.
Well, sometimes it's good to have somebody to listen to you, and maybe your frustrations, you realize you're not alone in those, Other people probably feel the same thing,
Yeah, well, I hope I have to call you back.
All right, whenever you wish.
Keep it going, okay?
Thank you.
Good topics going today. Thank you. Bye, darling. Bye-bye.
Thank you. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255 is our floor toll-free call. And as the caller referenced, maybe a competition in some areas is good. Maybe regulation and a sense of cooperation is what is the order of the day. But as she was referencing, maybe when we come back, we had a quick question, an exchange with one of the listeners as we go into the break. We'll see if we can figure it out. The question is asking, when it comes to masks and or face coverings, is there a prescribed type of mask that is required, or is it, as this person has said, once you go into a space and you've covered your face as it was before, handkerchief or any other thing, is that sufficient, or does it need to be a specific mask? I'll see if I can figure that out. If you know, please call and share your thoughts with us. All right, stay tuned for Talk Today.
Radio Cayman,
the voice,
the heart,
the soul of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman.
Your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins. The Sister Islands' upcoming Jubilee events begin Thursday, June 2nd, with the official lighting of the beacons at Christopher Columbus Gardens at 7:30 p.m. On Saturday, June 4th, the Queen's Birthday Parade takes place at District Administration Lawn and Kirkconnell's Street at 10 a.m. The festivities continue at 11:30 a.m. with an air show at Charles Kirkconnell International Airport. By 7 p.m., there's the Jubilee celebration, followed by fireworks at 9 p.m. at Spot Bay Cove. And on Sunday, June 5th, service of Thanksgiving at 11 a.m. at the Little Cayman Baptist Church, and again at the Aston Ruddy Center at 5 p.m. In international news, the U.S. Department of Justice says it will investigate the police response to last week's mass shooting at a school in Texas, which killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Public anger is growing after it emerged that officers waited in the hallway as children trapped with the shooter made desperate 911 calls. President Joe Biden met the victims' families on Sunday. He also met survivors and first responders. A man disguised as an elderly woman in a wheelchair has thrown cake at the Mona Lisa, Leonardo da Vinci painting at the Louvre in Paris. The piece, which was undamaged, was left with white cream smeared across its protective glass. The perpetrator, seen wearing a wig and lipstick, urged people to think of the earth while being led from the scene. The incident on Sunday was described by witnesses as being jaw-dropping. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab.
For a full range of medical services, pleasant, clean and comfortable environment, no long lines and affordable fees, visit MedLab at the Smith Road Plaza. Open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 5 p.m. and half day on Saturdays. Call 949-7331 to make your appointment.
For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Ask our professional team about the benefits of cutting-edge technology with MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
Make your house into a home. Welcome to Brand Source Home Gallery, your source for premium products and a premium experience. We'll design and install your dream kitchen with crafted cabinets, complemented with elegant appliances. We'll fill it with quality houseware and cookware. Custom-designed closet and storage solutions organize and beautify any area. And with the finest bedding, you'll get a perfect night's sleep knowing Brand Source Home Gallery has everything you need to make your house a home.
This October, discover Peru with the Chamber Travel Club. Experience Machu Picchu, the lost city of the Incas and recognized as one of the wonders of the world. Explore the Spanish and Incan cultures and civilizations from Lima to Cusco to Aguascalientes in 10 days and 8 nights. Reserve your space for this trip of a lifetime by June 3rd to receive the early bird special and free Sacred Valley tour. Visit caymanchamber.ky or call 949-8090 for further details. This October, discover Peru with the Chamber Travel Club.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back, and thanks for sharing with us. 949-8037. Toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. Of course, you can WhatsApp 925-3261. And if any of those numbers aren't to your liking, sometimes we have a preference for certain numbers. Just dials easily. Well, some work and some don't. 949-6990 always works. So you can share your thoughts with us. Just as we went into the news break, someone had a message to ask if we know whether a mask, and not only, I think the person says, okay, we understand that they're still required indoors, and I wanted to know if they were a prescribed type of mask, or if, as the person says, I understand, it was in the early days, any type of face covering was still sufficient. I think I recall that back then as well. You could put on something, a bandana, pull your shirt up, tie something that sufficiently covered your face, your nose, and your mouth specifically. Still want to keep your eyes visible, and you can see where you're going. Any type of covering was sufficient, and I haven't had a response there. So maybe I should have been smart and just asked the team here. I was trying to find online to see the regulations if there were. But just other casual, and the reason I asked the person, why the question? And for many times we just take things for granted. The person responded saying, they thought that it was required that you, as long as you went into a space and if you forgot your mask, if you were able to produce something, then that covered your face, specifically your mouth and nose, then that was sufficient. Presumably, this person has had two experiences where one in one of the banks and in another in a retail establishment where it did not have a mask, but produced a handkerchief and he called it something else, so I had to clarify, but handkerchief, produced that and proceeded to tie it over the nose and the mouth, only to be told that that's not sufficient. I honestly don't have anything definitive other than to say that my understanding is such that if you have something that covers your face, like a cloth covering or the like, a face shield, the like, that is sufficient. This person's contention is that on 2 occasions, one in a retail bank and one in a retail environment, was told you have to have a mask, as I put it, a mask. Now, if you know differently, only to dispel any sort of misunderstanding and so to clarify it, well, let us know. We will try to figure this out for you, hopefully within the next 50 minutes or so, but no promises. Let's see what we can figure out. Susan will dispatch her great intelligence network, scour the wide world of information that's out there. Now we'll ask and see if we can get. Now, it may not be a significant thing, but I think that question is timely given the earlier gentleman's call that suggested that, in some instances there's a level of frustration and, there are some of us who may just be fed up or for whatever reason, we just want to push the envelope, different things. And like many, I give to you an example that was brought to me, which was seemingly a very obvious breach and misinterpretation or a personal sort of application of the law, the regulations. In a dining establishment, it's been said that supervisor, manager, or the like, whatever that term that would be appropriate, said to some of the dining patrons in the establishment, you need to have your mask on when you're seated at the table. And, you remove it to eat, then you put it back on while you're chewing. And if you take it off, it has to be under your chin. It was very specific. And this could be driven by a misunderstanding. It could be driven by a sense of, heightened sense of fear. It could be driven by all sorts of things. Some of us get intoxicated by an element of power. And it may have nothing to do with a person's disposition of trying to impose a personal, position. But it could be. And level of, information about what is accurate and required would go a relatively long way in understanding. So like that instance where I think we're safe to say that still as masks are required indoors, if you go into a dining establishment, the understanding is you wear it while you're moving from the entry to your table, while seated at your table. You remove it and you talk, amongst your group. If you get up from your table and you're going, about the restaurant, whether to the restroom or elsewhere, presumably you are required to don your mask. And then when you return to your group at your table, you can remove it once again. In this instance, it was shared that the manager, the supervisor, said to those at the table, well, you need to keep your mask on, and when you pull it down, it has to be on under your chin. Very, very specific instructions according to this scenario. Now, we know that to be absolutely false, but again, people may labor on the misunderstanding or the like, or just decide that they'll, enforce the law as they wish, when they wish, or they will impose the law as they wish. Well, 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. In relation to mask, I must share that comment sparked a number of messages from individuals who have shared that as they travel in some places, there is little use of the mask in some places. For some, it's the notion, that what we're doing here isn't but it's interesting. I want to read this other message as well, because like this message is coming through now, many of you have already messaging relative to your perspective on mask, and this individual message suggests that when they're traveling recently, they don't see the same level of mask wearing as we see here. The person shares that it would seem that even international travel, where it was once required in airports and on planes, and that isn't the case now. I think this person says that with the exception of Canada and Air Canada, it doesn't seem to be that masks are required in airports and the like. Now, there are those of us who are eagerly looking forward to traveling, and then those of us who are going to still be a little bit more reserved before we go. In relation to the comment about the manager in the dining establishment, if I might read this wonderful message, says, my perspective is that this manager was onto something. I don't see the point of not putting on your mask while you're just chatting at a table and not eating. I probably put on my glasses, perhaps suggesting, where is this place so I can go and dine there as well. So I will sometimes put on my own mask or when I am finished eating as well. And again, this is where people, I'm seeing, a number of messages, and I think this is where people are starting to weigh in their preferences. And when we look at this whole issue, I guess it comes to a person's perspective relative to what they want to do and how they think it should be done. And as people are appreciative of a need for personal safety and the like, they want to be a part of doing everything that is lawful and compliant, but also in their mind based on their understanding and interpretation as to what is safe and reasonable. Now, a few of you sent through a number of pictures, both locally and internationally, of instances where the same group of people are posing for a picture. In some, they're fully masked and distance, and in others, they're together. Now, are these official photos from the proper press release and continued perspective? Is it that these are just photos that are taken and it catches people when they're not ready for the picture, as it were? Well, what is your thought? Is it, as the caller has shared, that we're not out of the situation, or is it, as the politicians have been sharing globally, we need to learn to live with it, so let's just get on with our lives? Is it, as some of you have questioned, where's the balance between ensuring the safety of people and the use or abuse of legislation and the like to impose heavy restrictions on people's freedoms and placing them, not just their health, but their financial well-being, their employment, and the like, in great jeopardy? Now, is it that we're living with it, or is it that we're still continuing to label under what some have described as communistic draconian measures? Well, your perspective. 949-8837, 1-800-534-8255. Let's quickly pause and take our 1:15 break, and when we return, more Talk Today.
Subway makes it easy for you to stay on top of your health and wellness goals with our Fresh Fit menu options. Choose from 5 Fresh Fit Subway sandwiches with only 450 calories or less per 6-inch sub. Turkey breast, veggie, oven roasted chicken, Black Forest ham, sweet onion chicken teriyaki, or make your 6-inch Fresh Fit sub into a salad or wrap prepared with fresh vegetables. For a full menu and nutritional information, visit subway.ky. Subway, eat fresh.
After more than 20 years, the Cayman Islands Air Show is back. Start your Queen's Platinum Jubilee weekend on Friday, June 3rd by watching a thrilling air display on Public Beach, 7 Mile. Witness amazing acrobatic maneuvers as world-class pilots put on a stunning show. Then see the planes and meet the aviators at the Cayman Airways hangar. Parking permitted at designated sites with free shuttle buses to the events. For all the details and event lineup, visit CaymanAirShow.com. The Cayman Islands Air Show returns June 3rd.
The offices of dermatologist Dr. Wayne Porter will be taking appointments from May 30th to June 2nd and June 7th to 11th at his Crew Road Clinic. Appointment slots are limited. Whether you're seeking advanced skincare, Botox, filler, cosmetic skin enhancements, or simply looking to reduce wrinkles, Dr. Porter offers a full-service dermatology and dermatological surgery practice. For more information, email dr.portercayman@gmail.com or call 946-9020 to book your appointment today. That is 946-9020.
Did you know that ValueMed Pharmacy has a free online prescription service? Managing your health and medical requirements has never been easier with ValueMed. Simply visit value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com and click the Refill Prescriptions tab on our website. Fill in the information for new prescriptions or refills and choose your preferred pickup location. ValueMed on Walkers Road or Boddentown. Then bring in your original prescription from your doctor when picking up. There's no need to stand in line and wait for your prescription. Save time and pick up prescriptions at your convenience by visiting value-medpharmacy.com. That's VALU-medpharmacy.com.
Do you need your account balance from the Water Authority? Give us a call. Customers can now confirm their account balance over the phone in 3 easy steps. 1. Call our office at 94-WATER, that's 949-2837, and press 2 for account balance. 2. Enter the full 11 or 12-digit account number. 3. Press pound and get your account balance. You can check up to 5 account balances in one call, and if you accidentally enter the wrong number, you have 3 tries to enter it correctly. This service is open to all customers, including tenants. Call the Water Authority to get your account balance today.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back. 949-8037, 1-800-534-TALK. That's a flow toll-free call. 1-800-534-8255. Or you can WhatsApp 925-3261. It's a Monday. And for some of you, I'm reminded, I thank you full for the continued diligence of our, many of our civil service team. This Friday is a public holiday. I'll be honest with you. It was announced. I knew it was coming. I just didn't remember that it was this Friday. And so we get Friday and then we get Monday. So unlike the Easter long holiday weekend that we've always enjoyed, we've got another Friday holiday. And who knows, who knows what may transpire. So as you celebrate the Jubilee events, I think in the Thursday edition of the Town Crier is going to be awesome. I think Mr. Marin is quite fitting for that selection. And then the evening at Pedro, I think it's going to be quite nice as well. Then we have the air show, 2 decades or more. So not only, I think I recall once that we were told that the military aircraft in the past would fly from here, and in a couple of seconds they will be flying over the BRAC and then back. Well, this time around, we have it on Grand Cayman, and then they will go to the BRAC on Saturday. And that's, I think, fitting that the country as a whole ensure that as best and as much as possible, we are as inclusive and we involve, all of our islands. It's not a big country. I mean, there is a deep body of water dividing the two, but hopefully that's the only division that there is, and even that can be unifying. There are some of us will take over little dinghies and head across to the BRAC and Little Cayman. Maybe that will once again return. It'll be a catboat perhaps that will take over. Now, with that in mind, we have a number of excellent events planned as part of the celebration. I'll hold back some of the comments many have shared privately relative to the changing face of the world, and invite you to share your thoughts. I think it's very fitting to say that without fair contradiction, the world holds Her Majesty in the highest regard. A lady not only eloquent and intelligent, but possesses and presents with great humility and respect. And not only is a respectable individual, but is respectful of her office and of others. And I think it serves as a great example for many of us. If you think of the changes and the challenges that she must have seen and faced, and perhaps at times may have probably been like many of us, would we have acted the way she did? That's temperate. So now 949-8037 or 949-6990 or 1-800-534-8255. And as I read this message, this individual is sharing the perspective on the mask, and is saying, I think it's okay to wear whatever is covering, and that I'll quickly just read through it. Those two establishments are wrong for insisting that you need to have a proper, quote-unquote, proper face mask to come in. Well, we'll try to figure that out for you, because like the issue at dining establishments or the places, people may feel that they can impose their version of the law or their policy, and it'll be sufficient. There are some who intend is well founded and well grounded, and they mean well, but it may impose for others a sense of disquiet. It could be that they're lax in their approach, or they could be very, 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 very diligent, to put it nicely. Well, your perspective. 949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp 925-3261. Now, the other issue that the caller referenced, and that one person messaged to comment, was with regard to food and agriculture. And the caller, the lady, shared, as she usually does, from a very informed, responsible, and respectful perspective, that we need to be more conscious of the food security in our country. This person's message referred to the need that we should encourage and commend the government for looking at agriculture, but it's not a quick win, and the tree planted today may not be ready for harvesting for a very long time. So are there things that we can and should be doing, and are there other interests out there that we can work alongside to make sure that we are putting not only the financial returns in the hands of the people in our own economy, but we're encouraging and incentivizing people to either expand their farming operations or to consider it as a viable option. This quick message from the individual said, my words based on what the person shared, cost-benefit analysis relative to what could be done with the land that the person owns. If the zoning allows this, and this, well, the return on that would mean a lot of money in this case. If it was arable land and I was able to do this type of thing on it, what is the return? What is the incentive for putting in that work, for that delayed sort of return on the investment? Are there ways to work around that, including not just government assistance, but are there new and advanced technologies that could be utilized? Now, as I've just messaged back to the person, the response was that there's more than just money at stake. It's the idea of very existence and survival. So with this whole discussion now with this individual and the other relative to food security and agriculture, well, what do we do? Are we, like many, our food comes from the supermarket. And if it's not there, then, well, it's not there. Or is it like a growing number? Concern that we may not have sufficient food. We may have to consider making, where possible, substitutions for some of the things that we have, or even appreciating that we will have to change our diet and hopefully still find ourselves sufficiently nourished, as it were. Well, is it that, as the caller again shared, we're more concerned about increasing our population because that drives the economy, it provides government, with additional revenues through the taxes it collects from the consumption and the economy, the construction, and the like. Will that be offset by the growing concern of the country's food source? Well, your thoughts. 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255, or WhatsApp, 925-3261. Now, one other message that just came back, and I just want to maybe look at it better during the break, and want to make sure that I, in fact, reading it correctly and interpreting it same. But it seems to be speaking about the issue of living, in this new time, and how do we ensure that it's not only our safety and security, it's the survival and the sense of appreciation and respect for others' perspectives. And it looks not like an epistle, but from what I gather, seems to be well penned and certainly long. So let's read that during the break and then maybe respond to it. But what else is on your mind? 8949-8037, 1-800-534-8255. And we'll want to await a response from an individual relative to employment prospects. The person had messaged earlier for the show and suggested that one of the increasing challenges, even though as who may have found that they did not necessarily struggle greatly with respect to their employment over the last few years, are now growing increasingly concerned, according to this message, about their employment prospects going forward because of the change in economy. And then reference that we opened up the economy, we're now welcoming more and more to our shores, and hopefully as the tourism rebounds, are we still concerned not only at the employment prospects of those who were displaced in the tourism sector, but to what extent are we able to ensure that businesses can expand and capitalize on new opportunities, or those people who were underemployed or unemployed are still getting the opportunities there? Or is it, as this person has shared, as this person says, his witness in his own company, seemingly the company has either rehired workers that have left or have, hired new workers and not yet seem to have taken on board the already displaced staff on island. Well, be interesting to hear what you think. We're going to pause and take a short break. When we come back, more Talk Today.
Busy, busy, busy. Feel like there's not just enough hours in the day. Savannah Pharmacy, service to make your life easier. Now you can WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. And pickup is just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours including Sundays and holidays. WhatsApp your prescription order to 929-5045. Savannah Pharmacy, wholesome values with modern conveniences.
For medical lab services in Cayman, go straight to MedLab. Blood test, x-ray and mammogram, all of that is MedLab. Affordable fees and friendly service, a full professional team. MedLab is always comfortable, MedLab is always clean. For medical lab services in Cayman, MedLab.
Call 949-7331 and ask about MedLab's new state-of-the-art digital mammogram machine.
JN Money, money touchdown. Send the money now. Reach wow. You say you need some money. JN Money, I can send it in a hurry. Get through quick when you come collect your cash, or use your money card and swipe it in a flash. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we a pick? Yeah. Send and receive funds at any JN Money location. It's fast, affordable, and convenient. Money touchdown with JN Money. Send funds to any bank? Yeah. Pay your bills quick? Yeah. Low fees, you know what it? Yeah. JN Money, we a pick? Yeah.
Call 345-945-2014 for details. Available at JN Money locations across the Cayman Islands.
Join us on June 8th for the annual RF Economic Outlook Conference, where speakers include Dex Torok, executive at Facebook and Google, John Cidilettis, geopolitical consultant to the U.S. Department of State, Keith Herman, serial tech entrepreneur and blockchain expert, and global innovation strategist Sean Kanungo. Registration is now open. Find out more at rfeoc.com.
Are you a Caymanian status holder, or a resident of the Cayman Islands who is interested in enhancing transparency, accountability, ethical standards, and promoting awareness in public bodies? If you are civic-minded with the highest level of integrity, the Commission Secretariat, on behalf of His Excellency the Governor, welcomes your expression of interest for appointment to various statutory commissions. For more information on the commissions and candidate qualifications, visit the Commission Secretariat website at www.commissionsecretariat.gov.ky.
Talk today. But I do have some questions. Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon, welcome back, and thanks for joining us. 949-8037, 949-6990. Of course, Flo has a toll-free line that we want you to use, 1-800-534-8255. As we were mentioning going into the break, someone messaged to talk about, the employment prospects, and I appreciate not only the time that they took to share this. And it's not an epistle. I don't say that to. Hopefully, for some, when they hear that, they take it to be less than complimentary comment. But by no means, I think if people take time and send their thoughts to us, I think it's indicative of their desire for it to be shared. And this person writes that working in the tourism sector, names the particular entity the person is employed with, and says, from what they've seen, a lot of the former staff members have returned from overseas. A lot that were, or the few that were on island, quote unquote local, haven't been rehired. Now, the person puts, not sure whether that's that they don't want to come back, they found better opportunities. That's besides. But new people have been hired, and is asking the question, with the recent job fairs and the like, has it been that the company could not find the requisite qualifications and expertise and experience that they wanted, or found it more convenient or preferable to hire from outside than to hire or rehire the displaced tourism workers? Then he goes on and shares at length an opinion relative to whether or not governments, not just the government, but governments should be able to insist that employment is first to the local populace, and then in the absence of that, the person shares that that's what the public understanding or pronouncements are. But in practice, this rarely happens. And then it gives an example of where a person was hired. Now, it would assume from inference that this was something that happened some years ago, not necessarily recent. Person was hired, and during the probation period was sort of dismissed. And now, not getting into the allegation as to why that occurred, but it seems to suggest that the person was put in a very untenable situation relative to pay and working conditions that, according to the writer, were unreasonable and certainly didn't apply to the previous post holder in that organization. The local employee, and again, quote unquote local employee, was dismissed, and then shortly thereafter, someone was moved across, and the contention being that this seemingly was the intent all along. Now, in my response to it, I said, well, do you feel that amounts to constructive dismissal? There is no response to that question, but the person responded to say that that sort of thing has been, either witnessed or alleged many times at this particular establishment. Now, if you own a business or if you're the sole proprietor, and sometimes it is challenging to service your clients and to do everything, and sometimes you may find, well, it's easy just to do it yourself. Now, when you have a number of employees and you have legislation to comply with, from pension and health legislation that requires, the mandatory collection, or when you're trying to schedule staff to ensure that you have adequate coverage, we know it can be challenging. And sometimes as employees, things happen in their lives, and now maybe more so than ever. But this writer's contention is there a growing and glaring issue, as the writer shares, that we've again missed an opportunity to ensure that the tourism product benefits the local employee or entrepreneur. Also, is the tourism product being repositioned to give, quote unquote, a more of a Caymanian flavor? Well, that's this person's sentiments. You may have a particular perspective and want to share a thought. 8949-8837, 1-800-534-8255, or you can WhatsApp 925-3261 and let us know what you think about the things that you see them unfold around you. 949-8837, toll free with the compliments of Flow at 1-800-534-8255, and share your thoughts with us. Now, the other thing that we had a couple of pictures that were sent, and I do publicly, as I said to the person in responding, I don't always see these things. I did not get a chance to drive as the person had invited me to do, and to see it firsthand. And as I said, not because a picture was there, but I don't disbelieve the person's intent, nor that they were asked there what was shared. But presumably alongside many of the major roadways, there is seemingly a number of spots where people have placed either household, furniture and the like, as if there is this annual bulk waste cleanup coming about, or just doing it there for easier collection. Not quite sure. Now, I don't know whether any of you have seen that in any of the places, or whether it's just isolated. But I did share with the person. I'll mention it to the requisite entities and hopefully it'll be addressed. The person in sending the pictures shared that we have perhaps become accustomed to the annual bulk waste cleanup as we approach Christmas, and we bring our household items that we no longer use, the furniture, the appliances and the like, and it's taken away. And I thought, not very few other places in the world does this happen. Now, if, as this person has shared, if this is indicative of someone expecting, well, the government's going to take it away and let me just bring it to the road, one of the pictures that he shared seems to be along one of the bypass areas, and it's a high traffic area. Now, how does it get there? What's the intent? And as the person shares, if you can bring that level of household appliances and bedroom furniture and mattresses and the like that looks like in the picture, where are you bringing it from? And how far away is the dump from where you're putting it? If you can get it that far, as the person shares, can you take it the rest of the way? Well, I guess different approaches and mindsets from different people. What are your thoughts? 949-8837, toll free with the comprehensive flow at 1-800-534-8255. And then another message in relation to the idea of road safety and driving. With respect to the messenger, I don't wish to read it as is. If you'll forgive me again, it's just my interpretation. It may be a bit, emotive and the like, but the person, is messaging and alleging that maybe, and I'll put it this way, maybe a bit euphemistic compared to how it's written. Maybe a lot of us just got our license as a gift. We didn't necessarily, sit and pass the test, as it were. This person is suggesting that the level of driving on the roads is appalling and makes certain allegations that perhaps are familiar to some of us. Doesn't mean that they're accurate. Doesn't mean that they are unfounded either. But my question then, as I read the message, again, how do we address the issue? Well, let's take this call. Hey, good afternoon. Welcome. Thanks for calling.
Yeah, just me, Margaret.
Hello, Margaret. That's a good song, My uncle always liked that. It's me again.
I love it. I love it. Yeah, Sterling, I'm not going to bother want to talk to you today. We're going down.
I was wondering that myself, man.
And then when Friday and Monday come, I got about, boy, I wish I'd talk to her today.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't please us all, Sterling. That's all I come down to.
Yeah, well, that is it, It's one of those things where life sometimes, presents certain things, partly because of what you bring to the table and partly because of what's transpiring. And I'm intrigued by a number of the messages that I'm getting, but they're not the same thing. But it's Monday.
Thing.
It's Monday, right?
Yes, it's Monday. People still sleeping.
I kind of wish I was, in a sense. Or out fishing somewhere. Or,
somewhere, yeah. Try to catch a lobster and a kingfish.
Yeah. Well, a snap would be my preference, but that's just mine.
I'll take the kingfish. But Sterling, go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
No, I was looking at what you shared earlier, and a couple of people messaged relative to the competition, and one person, again, it's not. I don't know who it is, and it's not important. But it was saying that when it comes to utilities like water and electricity, how do we ensure the service? Is it through competition or is it by competition? We're duplicating the service and then end up getting less. So
Charles, that person need to look at Cable Wireless and Digicel, and they'll know right then the competition situation. Really, that right there, I think that's an answer for them right there.
Okay.
I would think so, because the thing with us, Sterling, we want to grow, but we don't want on our show list to let it grow. We want someone else to grow it, but then again, we sit down and complain about the ones that come and grow it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So, time to look at Flow in Digicel, and then take it from there. And then they'll know the competition, and if we do need another water authority and CUC and yakety-yak, because we will never be able to please nobody, but yet we sit down and we cry about a gallon of milk costs $10, and they don't realize how far the source go to try to get these things for us. They should be glad that they can still get it and bring it to this island that's everything happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
They're concerned about a gallon of milk, but yet they can go and have 2 and 3 cell phones and yakety-yak, and then Friday evening come, or even Monday evening, you see them all hanging up by the bar room and so forth. That's their business. But stop complaining about it. The vendors bringing in this milk for us and our children. The children need the milk. Buy and give it to them. Leave your company and your play time for another time. Take care of your children, or if you need the milk, you buy the milk. You know what I mean? Stop complaining about the grocery, because it's going to go higher.
Is that, for your perspective, is it then the misplaced priorities?
That's right. That's exactly what's going on. Mm-hmm.
And then what do you make of, as you always reference, and you, like many, have a green thumb, you turn your hand to your backyard garden and the like. Is there something that we need to look at? I reread a message from the person relative to agriculture. when it comes to that, where do you think we are as a country when it's looking at our food security and how much we're growing, how much we'll be able to provide?
I started at my table, honest God, food. When I was a kid coming up, my uncle growed a lot of stuff from the stibble orange down to the sweet orange and you name it. Mm-hmm. And we had a lot of local grown food here on the island. And it just keeps subsiding until we start getting more and more from elsewhere over the world by plane or by boat. Mm-hmm. So then the farming kind of become less and less. And now we got some people now who is looking into the farming now and wants to try a thing or two. But some of them, like myself, is trying to do it in our backyards, and sometimes that's not going to work all the time. And then I heard that they was going to open up some property some years ago, somewhere up east, and they were going to let people come and farm, I guess with permission and all that kind of stuff. I had to go through red tapes to be able to go there and farm. I don't know if that came about. You understand? Don't get me wrong. So I'm not going to even knock that. But those that are trying in their backyards, including myself, I know we're having a challenge when it comes to all those things that we're trying to grow. And I want to grow things that I don't even like or like to eat, but I know other people will eat it, you understand? So I want to just do it and give it away if it comes to something. Mm-hmm. If it comes, I can give away because, you know, I do eat this and I do eat that, but I'm willing to plant it to see if it will come. But don't mess with my cassava, you know? Mm-hmm. Don't mess with my cassava. But, you know, Sterling, we have a long way to go when it comes to yards. The farming and in the backyard farming. We're going to need a lot of support, and we all need to get together. And that's something that we can't do to save our lives. What our problem is, I don't know what it is. And like Mr. Franklin said many years ago, if the product doesn't say USA on it, nobody wants to buy it. Now, they can go to the store and buy a mixed drink that was made elsewhere and put on our shelves. But if I go to the Facebook on my phone or advertise and say, I got mixed carrot juice for sale, let me tell you something, I ain't going to sell one bottle. I ain't going to sell one bottle, Sterling. You know why? It doesn't say USA on it or China. But what I call you for, Sterling, I know this weekend is going to be a big weekend for a lot of people. I'll be home doing what I do best in my yard and so forth. But I wish everybody a safe weekend and enjoy this Jubilee situation. Sterling, what I'm concerned about is, you know, many years ago, we had like a worship coming here like practically every week and sit in our water for so many days, and by the time one gone, another one is here again. Why are we not having worships in our waters like we used to many years ago, Sterling?
Well, what if we do, but we don't know about it? We don't see it. We're not told that they are. And maybe they just hang off in the distance in the day and then maybe come a little bit closer in the night. I don't know. I mean, what if that's happening?
I don't believe that. I don't even think that's happening.
Okay, I'm not saying that it is.
Yeah, because somebody got to see it. Somebody got to see it in a boat. And that man from came back there that always calling, giving us info on boats passing and so forth and so forth. I know he's not going to keep no secret to the degree unless they tell him to keep it a secret, that there's 2 warships hanging off of Cayman Brac and all that kind of stuff, you understand? But what I'm getting at, we used to have all these warships coming here many years ago. I would say as a child, it was very regular, and as I became an adult, it was still regular. And the last one that came in here, and the first one in a long time, was then, I'm going to just say this, but no disrespect to anyone, something in pertaining to Mr. Bush to say that, England sent a warship on here to protect Mr. Bush, yakety yak. That was all. I don't know how true that is, so I'm going to leave that alone. But what I want to say, Sterling, we're going to have the Jubilee this weekend, and we're going to bring in the Air Force somewhere in the U.S. Where's the Air Force coming from?
We were told that on was it Wednesday when Mr. Alfonso was on, that we have a couple of military aircraft coming in out of some part of the Caribbean region. He did reference that, you know, one of the Apache helicopters, and I don't think it was a Sikorsky, but another one coming in as well. So we're going to have a few, but I think the understanding is that because of planning and maybe logistics, that this time around some of the the much more prominent military planes won't necessarily be here. Not just the big transport planes, but the fighter jets. But there are those who have shared, that these are good times to, bring in other things at the same time under the cover of an air show. So who knows what we'll have.
But you, I still fully understand. Are it and a part of the British? This air show will be part of the British.
Yeah.
The planes, the guys, the pilots that fly the plane, are they British? They're part of the British Crown Colony of the England. And if I'm saying it right, but
yeah, I don't know how much of the British military planes will be here. How many of the American ones? Let's see if we can maybe find out. I know this morning as well, as I'm reminded, as you did the other day, shared 2 helicopters from the Dominican Republic. Now whether they are part of their thing or whether it's let's see if we can find out.
Yeah, but Sterling, what I would like to say is that if we're gonna have these what do you call them, what I'm calling them again now, the planes, the
you mean like the fighter jets and
the jets and so forth? We got them coming in for the Jubilee entertainment on the island, right?
Mm-hmm.
Are we having any warships coming in and park up no waters during these 2 days?
Well,
what I'm trying to say is, Sterling, if these planes is more an American-style situation, why are we doing that when we are celebrating England, the Queen, and it's a Jubilee? And the Jubilee is part of the Caribbean that is still with England, or even if they're not with England no more, they're going to celebrate. You understand? So why ain't we having people coming from there to do their own air show? Why are we having such a big mixture? I mean, we just, I don't understand. I see us touch the nose off and breathe through our mouth.
Sometimes, yeah. But with an air show, I mean, like as an example, for instance, the car show on the last holiday Monday, there were many interesting cars and different vehicles on display. Perhaps with an air show, you can have expression interests and display from different types of vehicles, from decommissioned military aircraft to private jets to serving military aircraft.
Yeah, but Sterling, all those cars are on island and they're licensed to run on our roads, and they're all privately owned here in the island. I'm quite sure they didn't bring in anyone for the special occasion, which I never heard of, which you could have. Don't get me wrong.
No, I hear what you're saying, but when it comes to planes, you think back to the air shows of last, there was, I think the term, a nice caravan of small private planes that had come down in the past, for the air show. So in itself, that creates a sense of awe and excitement. Air shows in other parts of the world, where you have not only the display by some of the squadron with the acrobatics and the like, but you also get to see different types of aircraft. Some of them were used at private airstrips, some of them were at military bases as the staging area, so they can take off and land. We'll see what this one is, and who knows.
Okay, we'll see. All right, darling, I hope I'm not going to call you back.
You're always welcome to. Thanks, huh?
You have a great one. Thanks.
You too.
Bye-bye.
And enjoy your afternoon. And, as that discussion was being had, someone referenced the application some time ago of, I think, if I read it correctly, a quasi-military sort of compound over in the BRAC that was proposed, including, the staging of Black Hawk helicopters and the like. Well, Cayman has always been a very strategically positioned place. If you think of our history, maybe that's where we have the seafarers of centuries past could come in to careen their vessels, to take shelter, to get their provisions of water and turtle and similar provisions in order to continue on their voyage. Maybe they came because it was a nice place to hide out as a ledge. Perhaps even to this day, you see the strategic position in the country globally relative to its role in the financial community, to what it could and should be if we have the political will and nurturing. Well, their show. Maybe that opportune time for some to have a renewed interest in aviation, for some to reminisce about the days, perhaps for others to vicariously sort of enjoy it through the excitement of others. Well, let's see where that takes us, right? 949-8037, toll free with the compliments of Flo at 1-800-534-8255. And it's one of our messages shares that in the Cayman context, the opportunity to continue his partnership with the other Caribbean territories, with the continued support and cooperation. I think that read, with between the U.S. and the U.K. Cayman is but an extension. And I think in reference to the air show, I think this person is of the view that we'll see how it goes, and maybe it'll be an opportunity to restart something that was not only a great sense of excitement, but could be another opportunity to engage and entertain the local populace, but serve as another attractive measure for our tourism product. And there are those of us who love the plane, as much as we would like to be in the cockpit, flying the plane. We're as excited to be a passenger on board. I think about long ago when inaugural flights, there was sort of a sense of excitement and a status symbol to be invited to take that inaugural flight. It may be the maiden voyage for a particular aircraft. Now, given all that is going on, that may not be the same level of excitement for as many. But their show on Friday, being a public holiday, and then on Saturday on the Brac in Little Cayman, well, it gives the viewing public an opportunity to come out and see something. For some, will be unlike anything they've seen before, and for others, it'll be a reminder of what it was a few decades past. Well, we're going to go into our news break shortly. When we return, we want to invite you to join us. We have a scheduled guest to talk about an upcoming job fair. I want to know more about it. Well, there's a chance to learn that. 949-8037 if you have a question as you listen and want information, or 1-800-534-8255. Please stay tuned for Talk Today.
We give you honor and praise, adoration and glory.
Radio Cayman.
Praise time.
Praise him, praise him. Come on, let's praise the Lord. Come on, let's praise the Lord. Praise him in the morning and in the evening. Oh, let's praise the Lord.
Praise time in the morning.
Praise him, praise him.
Weekdays 6 to 6:30 a.m.
Radio Cayman, waking you up.
Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand. Rock my soul in the blues of my favorite hand.
Praise time.
I know he cares. He'll always be there. Oh, yeah. Praise him, praise him, praise him.
Praise time.
Set your clock for 6 a.m. or you will miss it.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
On a daily basis, making it easy to connect with you, our listeners. Add us to WhatsApp today, 925-3261. That's 925-3261.
Radio Cayman.
Send a text or voice note.
Can I send a request, please?
You don't really have to ask us. Just send a request.
This is a shout out to my ex.
Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Radio Cayman, maintaining the innovation.
You are listening to Radio Cayman, the voice of the Cayman Islands.
Today's biggest news.
Radio Cayman, your voice, your choice.
Local, regional, international. This is Headlines from Radio Cayman's newsroom.
Today's biggest news.
With your latest headlines, I'm Felicia Rankin-Zollins. The Central Caribbean Marine Institute is celebrating World Ocean Day with a special Reefs Go live broadcast at the Camana Bay Cinema. The public, tourists, school groups, and ocean enthusiasts are invited to join the free event. Seating is limited at the cinema and registration is required. Virtual registrations are also available. You can register at donate.reefresearch.org/WOD 2022. The event is on Wednesday, 8th of June, 10 a.m. to 10:40 a.m. In international news, Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov has denied speculation that President Vladimir Putin is ill. In an interview with French TV, Mr. Lavrov said the Russian leader appears in public every day and no sane person would see any signs of an ailment. There has been increasing unconfirmed media speculation that Mr. Putin, who turns 70 this year, may be suffering from ill health, possibly cancer. The interview came as Russia continues its advance in Ukraine's Donbass region. The husband of U.S. House of Representatives Speaker Nancy Pelosi has been arrested on suspicion of drink driving in California. Paul Pelosi was held after his Porsche was involved in a collision with another vehicle in Napa County on Saturday night. No one was injured and the other driver was not arrested. 82-year-old Mr. Pelosi was charged with 2 misdemeanors and had his bail set at $5,000. He is not listed as being currently in custody. These are your headlines. I'm Felicia Rankin-Solins.
For the latest in news and information,
follow Radio Cayman on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Download the Radio Cayman app or log on to our website, radiocayman.gov.ky.
We wanna go and dally.
Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine. 7 Mile Beach might have changed, but Backyard is bringing it back. True Caribbean food in the heart of 7 Mile, just like Mama's home cooking. Brown stew snapper, Cayman-style beef, jerk chicken, turtle stew, and the delicious list goes on. Dine in, take out, or order with the Bento app. Backyard, Caymanian and Jamaican cuisine, 269 West Bay Road, or call 746-4603. Backyard, daily lunch specials, and the one-of-a-kind Fun Day Sunday live music brunch.
Backyard.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners' participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waging to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome back, and thanks for joining us. And thanks too for this opportunity, especially through our sales, wonderful sales team, to partner with one of our advertisers, Tortuga, as we welcome the marketing exec over there, Ms. Paige Walton. Good afternoon, man.
Hi, good afternoon. Thank you for having us.
It's a pleasure to welcome you to our studio.
Thank you.
And as we will share with our listeners, through you have a recruitment day coming up, and I think an opportune time for many of us to look at employment prospects. So, quite fitting. Just for what it's worth, we had a message from one of our listeners. At that time, I even totally have forgotten, as I was saying, about 2 p.m. 2 hours ago. That seemed like a long time. And a person was sharing that within the tourism sector, more of us need to be appreciative of that opportunity. So very fitting that you're going to tell us what's available.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we have a big job recruitment day coming up on the 1st of June from 7 a.m. till 12 p.m. at our location in 7 Mile Shops. We're really pushing for a lot of store sales representatives, or drivers, and warehouse staff. So if you're very excited to get out there, if you're looking for a dynamic company ever expanding, definitely come out on the 1st of June to come in. We'll have people on site to do interviews for you. So it'll be good. It'll be nice.
What are you asking? I mean, this is 7 a.m. to noon.
Till noon, yes.
And that's the first, so Wednesday coming. They come to your location?
Yes.
And what do you want prospective candidates to?
Well, obviously Caymanians and status holders would be preferred, but we're happy to just get to meet you if you're just a, excited person wanting to get to work with us. If you bring your CV, that'd be great, but it's not absolutely necessary for that. We will have on-site interviews happening there with our HR department.
And so drivers, store sales reps, warehouse staff, and the like. Any sort of particular sort of criteria relative to age and the like?
Not really. Not well. Well, obviously for age, well, in the stores 18 to be able to serve alcohol. For the drivers, there aren't age restrictions. Sorry, but they're obviously a license that you're able to use, and but not really too many restrictions.
Yeah, it's something that just generally speaking, I know of firsthand an individual who worked in a similar organization, and they have the big trucks that require a different license, and he thought, I don't have that license, and the guy said, listen, you have a driver's license, then you can through us, you get your learners for this type of vehicle, and in short order, he was able to get his license to operate that kind of vehicle.
Exactly. So we are willing to work with people to help them to get this, because it's something very important for our business. We're a large business. We've just started distributing Canada Dry. So that's there. We're just reopened 2 more of our stores because, during COVID, we had to shut down quite a few. We have 16 in total. 10 open now, and we're looking to open up some more now with the influx of tourism. So it's getting really busy for us, and we're looking for quite a number of people for our company.
Awesome. Well, I commend you for taking this time to share with us, to remind people the opportunities are there. And on Wednesday, yes, fitting. Are you looking for both full and part-time, or?
Full-time mainly, but definitely if you part-time staff within our stores especially, we can definitely do with some of that.
Yeah. Well, thank you, because I think, for some of us, we want full-time employment.
Yes.
And that's what you specifically
We are looking full-time, for full-time workers, definitely.
And it's rewarding working in the sector. We take as consumers for granted. We go to the store, and the stuff is there. Yeah. It's magically appears. But no, it doesn't. Your team and others like you get the foods and the items that we need to wear the shelves so we can purchase it. Yeah,
and it could be really interesting too when you start to learn about the liquor industry, like just getting into the different brands and stuff like that. So it's a good place to start, to just learn about something different.
Learn something new, you meet a lot of people.
Yes, a lot of people.
Even talk show hosts.
Yeah.
No, and this is at the location you said in Gunners?
7 Mile Shops.
7 Mile Shops.
Yes.
Yeah, you did say that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just thinking that you show it's Monday, but that gives us the time. And like with anything, come and make your best presentation. Yeah. You're not required to wear, a full suit.
No,
but you want to come as if you're going to, as you've offered, to conduct a job interview.
Yeah, we are. We're definitely willing to meet anybody who wants to meet us, really,
And for that person that impressed you on that day, what then happens in terms of subsequent interviews or like?
Well, that will also then be, with HR. They will be on site to do interviews. So after that, they will then let you know whether there will be a second interview or if you got the job on the spot kind of thing. So, yeah.
You could be hired on the spot?
You could be, yeah.
All right. And then I was going to ask, start date, as soon as they can start it.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and I believe more and more people need to, as you recognize, the economy is growing. And there are many challenges, including employers finding their requisite employees and the numbers. You're offering this up to the general public.
Definitely.
They just show up, no appointment.
No appointment necessary. Come in from 7 a.m. till 12 p.m. at our stores and 7 Mile Shops. And there'll even be refreshments there for you. We do the patties too, so there'll be a couple patties there for you guys.
You know what? Do the interview first and then and maybe they could find out more about your company. As you said, you just took on the distributorship for Canada
Dry.
You have a few other.
Yeah, we have quite a number. I mean, we have the whole Coca-Cola portfolio. We're the one distributor for that. We do big brands like Flor de Caña, Stoli, Tequila Rose is quite popular there too. But yeah, big company, ever expanding. We're looking for more, so you never know what will happen in the future.
And with that, you mean more staff as well?
Yeah.
Right. And it's something that, as you were sharing, I was just thinking earlier as I was walking back up. These recruitment days, job fairs, they don't happen in many jurisdictions like how they happen here, where people can immediately get it. You're relegated to employers going into university settings or high schools and doing something. You're actually looking for people to start work now.
Yeah, definitely. It's with the tourism has really made our business is based a lot around tourism. We have a lot with our port stores and in the airport. So Yeah, it's something that's ever expanding. We're very busy now, very busy, and it's going to get busier. So we want as many people as possible.
All right. Well, we're speaking to Ms. Paige Walton, the marketing executive over at Tortuga, and this will encompass all of your different entities within the portfolio.
Exactly. Our stores, as you know, Tortuga stores are ours, as well as discount liquor stores. The two in the airport, we even have one in Cayman Brac. So it can be all over the place.
Yeah. And then from that perspective, so potentially you're looking for staff here and potentially on the Brac as well?
Potentially Cayman Brac as well, yes. Right. But definitely for Grand Cayman, we are in need for staff.
Yeah. And as you were referencing, I said, you're not asking them, but if they do, they can bring their CV.
Yes.
You're, other than the age of 18, you don't have any other sort of age requirements. And then the criteria and qualifications for your potential employees, anything specific in particular that you may be looking for?
No, just someone who's excited to learn and to just a dynamic person is what we want. Just someone that can work with us. So we're a big family. We have a lot of fun as well as we work hard. So that's all of that the criteria that we need.
Would you help me, and perhaps there may be just one other person, but it certainly would help me. Give me a perspective. You're looking for store sales reps, you're looking for warehouse staff, and they're like, what are some of the job duties of the requisite areas? So maybe start where you want. If you want to start in store sales.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could definitely start store sales reps because I started there myself 5 years ago. So it's very much you have to be, customer service is key. With working with people coming in and out, we will teach you about different brands, the different wines. We do different tastings as well to train our staff. So that's quite fun. You get to meet a lot of people that way and get a lot of repeat customers that really they trust your taste for that. Our delivery staff, they're absolute legends. They're constantly on the go. They also help a lot out with our events. We do a lot of events throughout the year, so there's the fun aspect to it. But definitely, they're superstars that we have there. And then we're looking for what was the other one?
Yeah, so like for your other staff in the warehouse.
The warehouse.
And the like. What are you looking there?
Well, definitely, that's, a pretty typical, warehouse job, but we do with the Coca-Cola warehouse as well as our Tortuga warehouse, so it's split between alcohol and the soft drinks. Definitely someone, with a little bit of strength in them, It is very heavy lifting. There's hope. There's hope for you, don't worry.
I appreciate it.
But trust me, they also, the amount of work that they do, they're absolute legends there as well. It's they work very well together. It's a big family. Big family.
And then I'm thinking of warehouse setting where you have pallets and you have the shelves, and then you have the I call them the forklifts.
We do have forklifts, yeah.
So you learn to drive those and you put things in.
Yeah, you definitely get the chance to learn to drive them. I mean, right now we've been so short-staffed. There has been people that had to jump in and do that.
So I've been told.
Yeah, but you know what? They've done a great job for it, and we couldn't do it. We couldn't have done it without them.
And then they make the deliveries to
the different businesses throughout the island. Yes.
This is where I think people can get a sense of variety. They're not. Some will say, I don't want to be confined to the office. This gives them a bit of exercise, a bit of excitement, a bit of opportunity to interact with not just their staff, but the other customers as well.
Exactly. It's a lot of working with our customers. It's a lot of that.
Well, Ms. Paige, as I listen to you, I think this is for that either youngish person who's thinking, not sure where my career, just shared. You started in the sales and now you're in marketing.
Yeah.
There can be career progression.
There definitely can be, and the business is changing now recently. It's really exciting to see what it is, and we're looking more to start building people up throughout the company rather than only hiring from outside. So it's nice to see.
Yeah, it provides growth within, but then for that person who is maybe in another sector or who is one of the workers that are underemployed, not satisfied where they are, but for the unemployed as well.
Yes.
All right. When we come back from our break, would you maybe share with us some more? Remind us it's on Wednesday?
Yeah, definitely.
7 a.m.?
Yeah.
All right. Well, hopefully by that time I had my coffee.
Yeah.
And then you can give us another perspective and highlight some of the other things. All right.
Okay.
We're speaking to Paige Walton, the marketing executive over at Tortuga, and they're having a recruitment day this coming Wednesday. We'll tell you more about it. Stay tuned for Talk Today.
Subway is serving up a special new sauce, bursting with flavor in every bite. The new Savory Collection is a tropical sweet and spicy sauce made with a combination of spices, habanero peppers, thyme, onion, black pepper, ginger, citrus juices, and molasses.
So good. Wow. Sensational.
Delicious. Subway's Savory Collection pairs perfectly with our oven roasted chicken or steak sub. Savor the flavor. For a limited time, only at Subway. Subway. Eat fresh.
A caring and community spirit, cherished family and cultural values. These are some of the things that still embodies the Caymanian way of life in the Eastern Districts today. Savannah Pharmacy, your neighborhood pharmacy, located in Countryside Shopping Village, is delighted to offer products and services of real value. Whether it's catering to your family's medical needs or carrying apparel, gifts, and beauty products, Savannah Pharmacy provides you with more than just prescriptions. Remember, they're always just around the corner with everything your family needs and convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays. Savannah Pharmacy. For more information, call 946-3336.
History has taught us that in crisis, humanity will always respond with innovation. What world-changing technologies will emerge from humanity's latest challenges? How can the Caribbean capitalize on the metaverse, blockchain, hybrid work, and more? Join us at the RF Economic Outlook Conference under the theme Future Forces, World-Changing Ideas, where we will explore the future of work, investments, technology, and more. The journey begins on June 8th. Reserve your seat today at www.rfeoc.com.
The annual business surveys are ongoing. The surveys are conducted by the Economics and Statistics Office and seek to measure the economic performance of all local industries. The survey forms for this year were mailed or emailed to all relevant entities operating in the Cayman Islands. The surveys are confidential under the Statistics Act and are exempt from the Freedom of Information Act. Your response matters. Do your part. Fill out and return your survey forms to the Economics and Statistics Office. For assistance in filling up the forms or for more information, visit www.eso.ky or call 244-4676 or 244-4607. Better data, better decisions, better business.
I am Rashana Hyde, your Miss World Cayman Islands. The Miss World Cayman Islands 3rd Annual EnviroWalk 5K is on Sunday, June 26, 6:30 a.m. at Safe Haven. Join us and encourage others to help achieve a more sustainable future. I'm racing against His Excellency the Governor. I'm planning to win, but maybe I'll be nice and let him finish first. Register now on ticketsplus.ky. For corporate discounts and more information on EnviroWalk, contact missworldcayman@gmail.com.
Talk today.
But I do have some questions.
Talk today.
Cayman Islands' foremost listeners participation program.
Talk today.
Because there are more questions than answers.
What the public is saying.
Waiting to take your calls right now. Sterling Dwayne Ebanks.
Hey, good afternoon and welcome back. And it's a pleasure to speak to Miss Paige Walton, the marketing executive over at Tortuga. And I think, if I might say, the joy that you have now is evident from the enjoyment you're getting from your job. And I think this recruitment day that you're having on Wednesday, prospective employees could equally be satisfied and get a sense of job satisfaction.
Definitely. We have some great management in place at the moment that are very supportive, and you'll get to meet our new HR manager, actually, Nikisha, on that day. So, and then also our new store lead. Well, he's the manager of all of our stores right now, Simone. So he'll be there as well. But they're fantastic people to work with. So I know people that will come out and get the job. They'll be very happy with it.
And this is something as an employee, but also as a manager or even the business owner. If you have an environment where your staff, the team, feel valued, they feel like they're getting a job satisfaction. The job isn't that daunting, thing.
You're right.
You enjoy it.
Yeah, you're right. You go to work every day that way, right?
Yeah. You get up and you go, and it's not just you putting in the time because you want a paycheck or that you need to honor your obligation.
Yeah.
You actually feel in a sense of commitment and pride, and you miss your co-workers when you're away for whatever reason.
Yeah, exactly. You spend so much time with them, right?
Yeah.
So.
If you have that level, and thankfully I think we have it here already, Cayman, you understand why you work. You obviously have it with your team. We won't talk about some of the stuff that we mentioned during the break, but that's very evident of that family that you create.
Yeah, exactly. We are very much family. We're still a family-owned company. We're very much have instilled that thought process into our employees, because we spend so much time together. We have to make our environment a happy one, because it's not nice to go to a job every day when you're not enjoying it.
At some point, even the big, large paycheck won't be enough to make you come to work.
Exactly.
And as you were sharing, you now looking at reopening more of your stores that had because of understandably the circumstances of the last few years.
Yeah.
So as you open them up, you're going to need more and more
exactly.
team members.
We're going to be pushing more and more. If you follow our social media on Facebook and Instagram, we push a lot on that. We put it out on LinkedIn. We also put it in the newspaper, and we'll put it out, but we'll be looking for more and more people. But right now we need a large push for more. We have about 16 stores in total, and we now have 11 of them open. We just finished opening the one in West Bay, as well as our Royal Watler store. And we're looking into opening some more, like our port store and stuff, because tourism is coming back fully.
I mean, we can see
they're not letting up. They're not letting up at all.
And as you referenced, you're looking for store sales reps, warehouse staff, different types. Roughly how many? Another 10,000 employees, perhaps?
I wish. No, I can't tell you exactly how many, but we definitely, I'm sure, is close to about, I'd say 60 to 80 maybe we definitely might need.
It's a significant number of people.
We need a lot of people,
And, for that person who is thinking of employment prospect, this coming Wednesday, 7 a.m. to midday.
Yep, 7 till 12 p.m. at our 7 Mile Shop stores. We'll have some refreshments, some Coca-Cola, and some patties there for you guys to get you awoke for that. But we'll definitely would love to see anybody out there that day,
Come prepared for an interview, because you could be hired on the spot.
Definitely.
Bring your CV if you have it available.
Definitely.
And as a marketing executive, you recognize that first impressions matter. Sometimes as a prospective employee, even a seasoned employee, meeting a new prospective employer can make us a bit, unnerved. Any sort of words of encouragement or advice to those who are listening who want to come out Wednesday, but they're not quite sure, and maybe I need to do my hair a little bit better. But what would you say?
I totally understand that, but the people that will be there, they're very welcoming. We are not judging you at all on anything like that at all. It's whether you are the right person to fit into our family. So that's all we care about.
All right. Well, I'm glad that you're referencing that, because I think increasingly more and more, and it's, as this person messages and shares, it's an opportune time for employment. People are looking, they just need to know where. So Wednesday, you provide an opportunity to come in person.
Yep, come right down in person Wednesday at 7 a.m. till 12 p.m. at our 7 Mile Shops location.
All right. Well, I'm hopeful that if it's okay, even if just a follow-up to say, hey, we managed, it was successful, we have more coming up, and we were able to hire X people.
Yeah, definitely. We'd love to do that.
Yeah, that would be, and too many times I think we only find out about something after the fact. But today's Monday, people can tell their friends, and Wednesday morning, maybe on their way to and from work, maybe they're not working, maybe they've had other commitments.
Exactly.
This is an opportune time to set aside an hour.
If you can't even make it that day, you could definitely get in touch with us too, which would be good. It's hr@trc-cayman.com. So if you do, you could get in touch with us. The email is hr@trc-cayman.com. So I know some people may not be able to make it out at that time, but we would love to hear from you though still.
Right. But it is at your 7 Mile Beach location, or 7 Mile Shops.
7 Mile Shops, yes.
Yeah.
Tortuga 7 Mile Shops.
It's right there. It's convenient parking.
Yeah, very good for parking actually.
And
we have lots of space. We have a private area that people go and do the interviews, and like I said, you'll be able to meet some of the people that work there already. And we'll be there waiting for you guys.
All right, well, I'm looking forward to hearing from you. That's going to be a wonderful success. You found all the staff that you need.
Yeah.
And people are finding an increase in not just employment, but satisfaction in their jobs.
Exactly. That's what we aim for.
All right, well, it's a pleasure, and I'm hopeful, as you shared, future the recruitment days, you'll come in.
Definitely.
And let us know what went.
Yeah, definitely, will do. Thank
All
you
right.
so much for having us.
Oh, it's a pleasure, and I think, as all know, your social media presence is. So for those who want to know, maybe tell us where to find you on social media.
For social media, you can just get us at tortuga.ca, and then that's our handle. And if you find us on Facebook or Instagram.
Okay, and it is.
Oh, sorry, it's Tortuga Cayman. Sorry, it used to be CI. It's at Tortuga Cayman. And on Instagram and Facebook.
At Tortuga
Cayman.
Yes. All right. And it came out with a CA.
Yeah, exactly.
So this Wednesday, 7 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the 7 Mile Shops location for your job fair, your recruitment day.
Yes, we hope to see you guys there.
All right. Well, thanks very much. And that was a pleasure of the marketing executive over at Tortuga, Ms. Paige Walton. I'm looking forward to hearing from you again.
Thank you.
Well, we're going to call it a day, right, Ms. Susan? And you're going to join your friends and family on Business Buzz in the morning. And you want to give us a preview of what you have up tomorrow? And Miss Anita does a phenomenal job with that. And she shares with us, her good cooperative team over at Flow will be part of our guests. All right, we've got some things in store for you as well in relation. So as you start out with the Business Buzz and speaking to hazard management, well, we also have on Talk Today our friends over at the Department of Labour and Pensions as our guests. We're expecting the Chief Medical Officer to join us at 1, and then at 1:30 we have a chance to talk about their excellent lab over at HSA. And then 2 p.m. the Honourable Speaker of the House will be our guest. So that's tomorrow's promise. Until then, be blessed.
Talk Today is brought to you by Subway.
Thank
Open
you.
24 hours in Countryside, Anderson Square in Georgetown, and Centennial Towers in West Bay. And by the Ministry of District Administration, Tourism and Transport. Explore your history. Explore your land. Explore your sister islands. MedLab in Smith Road Plaza. Your complete medical laboratory solution. Call 949-7331. And Savannah Pharmacy in Countryside Shopping Village. Convenient opening hours, including Sundays and holidays.